So happy.
Hello.
He somehow weaseled himself back in. He's
I,
back.
I, I'm not weasel my way into anything. I was asked to be on the show. This is why nobody takes me serious, Arden.
Who wants to be taken seriously? Come on.
Yeah.
Existence is just a huge practical joke. That's what I'm convinced of.
Gamers right, bottom text.
Is anybody in the mood for a milkshake before we start? Fair.
Yeah. So
To
I
do, I'm gonna have to do all of that again because my mic has been muted on the audio the whole time.
really.
It has. Hell,
So they've just been hearing me and Denny talk.
right. We could just go with it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the intro again. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comments with your Boomer Tech host, Church of Failure, and the co-host.
Hold on. Let me flip the script back a page.
That's right. What are you talking about? We don't have a script. With me, as always, is my co-host Aaron McCartney and the special guest Atomic Denny, who will be joining us for the top half of the show. And he has been regaling us with some stories straight out of Comic Con about sped dating in the comic community. So, if you would be so kind as to share that with our audience, I'm sure they would love to hear this.
Okay, yeah. So I went to Comic Con this weekend. I'm not gonna say which one for anonymity's sake, and I saw that they were doing. They called it geek speed dating, which is a little patronizing. But I thought, well, I watched Medicare. I've seen sped dating. I got to see what this is like. So it was just this hallway they were having people line up in, and at first there was just like 5 dudes standing there, and me and my friend were standing there like watching them, and then like 12 dudes were standing there, and then like 15 dudes were standing there, and not a chick in sight, and
That's because
the
they haven't been
whispers were
paid
that
yet.
yeah, the whispers were that everybody's like, oh, I was walking up and down the line and listening to these guys talking, and everybody's like, "Are they not going to do it because girls are? There's not enough girls. Are they not going to do it? We're not going to get to go in." And so it turns out, so this kind of cute cosplay girl came walking up, and one of the dudes with the signs was like, "Hey, you interested in speed dating?" And she's like, "Oh, maybe. Can I go in and like look around?" And he let her walk in the room and look around. And then she came out and she yelled, "There's only 7 girls in there." So apparently, all the girls were lining up inside the room, and all the guys were lining up outside the room. And there were 20 guys and 7 girls. Uh, so
Jeez.
I decided to get in line. I was like, I got to do this. I got to see what's up. And my friend didn't want to. He chickened out. He was too embarrassed.
Right.
So eventually, 9 girls ended up showing up, and they were only going to take in 9 guys to match the 9 girls.
Okay.
But then they asked all the girls. We went in and we asked all the ladies if they would be fine dating all of you fine gentlemen, and they said they would. And so they let us all in. Yeah. So it was a date and then a gap. and then a date, and then a gap. So you got to like sit in between two other people having their dates while you did nothing. So I was just sitting and listening to dates happen side of me every time that I wasn't on a little micro date. And oh man, the game on some of these poor guys. At one point, I remember specifically.
Give us a couple examples.
Yeah, so I remember specifically at one point, I was listening to the date happening next to me, and the girl was asking the guy. This was the girl that I was going to be on the micro date with next. So I was listening to what she was talking about, and she was asking him. She's like, so where do you see this going in the future? What are your plans? What are your plans long term? What do you look for in a companion? like giving him like total answers. And I was like,
They should know that that's just not fair for these guys. Like that's just.
Yeah. So I was like, this chick's a ball buster. What am I gonna say to this? She's gonna grill me next. So the minute passed, and I got to her, and I introduced myself. I said I was my number. We each got a number, and then I asked if she liked Star Trek. And
okay.
She just started talking about Star Trek, and I didn't get any of the hard questions. And I was like, that's all that guy had to do. She's got a Star Trek pin on. It was an experience. This one guy kept asking me about Magic the Gathering in between his dates. He like little gaps. He kept like trying to get me into Magic the Gathering, like apostolize Magic the Gathering to me, and I have no interest.
Okay.
Are you sure he wasn't trying to get you to go on a date with him?
See, that's kind of what it felt like, and to me, that's not a speed dating environment. That's
this is not what I signed up for. Oh man.
Yeah, not as many. None of the dudes were in cosplay. One guy was dressed. He had a green Hawaiian shirt on and a green lei, and he had a Green Lantern ring, and he said he was Green Lantern on vacation.
Okay.
Well, maybe that counts.
I mean,
most of the girls were in costume though. I did notice that about Comic-Con. There's a lot more girl cosplayers than men.
Well, yeah, because it's like Halloween. They get a chance to dress like hoes.
Yeah, I don't think it used to be that way, though. I think when I was a kid, there was more purity in Comic-Con.
Probably.
I think the idea of purity in Comic-Con is a misnomer in and of itself. There is no such thing as purity in Comic-Con. Just to say, like we're all just a bunch of degenerate nerds who like weird shit.
I would say that's like self-respect at BronyCon. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, I was trying to capture a browser in OBS, but OBS is being a real bitch right now.
So did you get like a match?
Pardon?
Did you get a match with anybody?
Oh yeah, so that's another thing too. Is I matched. There were 3 girls in there that I thought were pretty cute that I could stand talking to outside of this room. And I matched with all 3 of them, and I wasn't even trying. I was there for laughing at it. And some of these dudes I know, like I could tell, like I saw them like walking in the hallway afterwards and like crumpling up their paper, like we're real mad about it. Like a few of them went in there like with their friends, and like I heard them like grumbling to their friends about it. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it's not that hard. I've never done speed dating, and I was wondering like, is this going to be some kind of pressure? Is this going to be weird? I feel like you just talk normally. Just talk. I just talk like I would be talking to you guys about, hey, how many fat Spider-Man did you see today? Because I
Right. I mean, like it's not hard to just talk to somebody.
Or like, yeah, this one dude, there was a chick dressed as Velma, and he kept like trying to make like all these Scooby Doo puns and like talking about like I kind of look like Shaggy, and like was like,
Oh, jeez.
and it was like, did you know that in the one Scooby Doo series that Velma and Shaggy date? And it's like, oh man, you're hurting.
Jeez.
Yeah, what do you
You're
do?
hurting me with words by proxy.
By the way, anybody watching the screen right now, I'm just boomering things up, trying to learn something in OBS. I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone.
Oh, something I did see at Comic Con, which was pretty cool, was I saw a a little kid dressed up as number 5 from.
Oh, yeah?
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
at first I thought he was the My Hero Academia thing, but he had the stopwatch and a monocle.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
I
Yeah,
can dig it.
I was pretty happy with that.
Ha! I got you saying it.
I can get behind that.
I saw some
I just gotta
merchandise.
get you to say cool beans next.
I saw like rumor patches and rumor pins.
Really?
Like,
Well, I mean, with the TV show, I guess it would have gained a lot more popularity since it was a comic book.
They don't use her logo in the TV show at all. The question mark.
I get that, but what I'm saying is the TV shows always push people to the source material, which is where they get their inspirations for.
I was pleasantly surprised to see a smattering of Umbrella Academy in there.
No, I mean it's nice. Like I said, it's a good book, and I hope they do more with it. Like I hope it's not just done now that Gerard Way is doing like real big boy stuff. But
yeah,
do
it more. Yeah.
So, speed dating.
What's that, C3PO?
Yeah.
Am I coming through?
Yes.
So,
for those listening at home, Ayrton asked what his take on.
Feel organic in any way, but it's a good way to get to talk to people, to get to just be yourself. I know that's the most cliche thing, but really just don't look at it like you're on a date or you're like, I have to talk to this person for the next minute and be interesting. Just speak like you would normally say, and if you don't have anything to say, then don't say anything. Like what are you gonna lose? That person's gonna think you're weird, and then you don't have to see them ever again.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I think. Go ahead.
That is something that I wanted to do. Is the people that were hosting the event? They were nice. They were professional, but they were kind of like patronizing and rude to all the guys. Sort of. They kept like reminding us not to be creeps and reminding us not to be sexual. And like it was like a woman in charge, and she like kept giving guys like she's like, guys, look at me, and she kept doing that thing where like she like looked around the crowd to make sure all the guys were giving her eye contact, and it was like, don't be sexual, it's just weird, and like she's like trying to be playful, but it's like, okay, we first of all we got it first time, but also second of all, like just most people are normal enough to like I don't know, is that maybe it is a big enough issue for them to yell at us about it. We got like all the guys. I don't know if the girls got a similar talk before going in, but all the guys were marched outside and talked very sternly to about not being weird, and not being sexual, and nice. And
well, if they actually wanted the guys to succeed, they probably would have done better handing out breath mints and deodorant, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Because not anything against anybody. I mean, I'd be just as guilty of it. You're walking around a sweaty convention all day. You know, you probably ate too many chili dogs at lunchtime because they're so fucking delicious and it's the cheapest thing at the concession booth. You're not.
That room smelled like. That room smelled like rotting Burger King. Like you ever driven by a Burger King dumpster?
I've worked in a restaurant before. The dumpster and the grease trap are the best part, aren't they?
Oh, so great.
Well, there was a stag vague malaise that in the room, and I don't think it was coming from the women.
Well, I would be afraid to disagree with you on that because I would be wrong. But anyway, I think the final thought is it's a fun experience, but don't go looking for your life partner at Comic Con speed dating event.
No,
And-
just a possible quick at the convention.
Right,
But if
and
you do, try to be normal and don't be. Hey, look at
Try.
me.
It's gonna be
Look,
tough.
Look, listen. Don't be creepy. Don't be sexual. Don't be creepy.
it's just creepy. It's just weird. Oh well, I definitely appreciate that. That made my evening. Honestly, that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was. Yes.
You got to try it. It's a gas.
Um,
So we'll. So next year's Comic Con will send me in with like a hidden camera pin.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. The
Kindly to that though.
absolutely.
You might get it by the stern lady.
Oh no, that would be fine. He'll just look at her square in the face and say, "I'm a guitarist for the patriarchy."
Hey, look at
See,
me.
and
Hey, look, listen, look. Don't record. Don't record in here. Don't be creepy. Hey, look at me. Look, listen.
see, and I'll cosplay as Medicare, so I'll get like one of the hats and just get like a white like morph suit
Bye.
mask,
yeah.
and then cut a little hole out in one of the stars in the hat, and just put the little hidden camera in there.
Oh yeah,
You
we
got-
got you.
You guys have a Looney Tunes-esque sign that you hold up that says "Glad I could help."
I think Jim would be proud at that plan. That's fantastic. Why don't more people cosplay as Medicare? It's such an easy costume.
I think people have.
and a fantastic one.
I mean, I went as Medicare for Halloween last year. I even printed up a name tag that says, "Hi, my name is Mr. Medicare. If you fuck with the bull, you get the horns."
You know, I bet the reason that most people don't do it is because if Jim knew about it, he'd make fun of you. Like, you know what I mean? It seems like the exact kind of thing Jim would make fun of people for.
I mean,
So
imitation
No,
is the
yeah, I'm just saying.
yeah.
That's probably why people don't do it.
I
Probably
mean,
encourage it.
no, I think we needed a Sweetie Squad army out there.
I wasn't naysaying anybody that chooses to dress up as Medicare. I'm just saying, if I understand Jim the way that I think I do, that's the exact kind of thing he would call gay.
oh, he would, but I'd still do it anyways.
Yeah.
Well, just to keep this from going completely off the rails, which of you guys enjoy the X-Men titles?
I like X-Men.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
All right. Well, you know, I've been a fan of the X-Men myself ever since the Saturday morning cartoon. They got me into to some of the square cardboard like kitty comics that they put out in the early '90s, and then actually reading Age of Apocalypse and all that good stuff. So, are you familiar with modern X-Men comics? Like, have you heard anything about what they've been doing with X-Men for the past 2 years? Which,
Yeah.
No.
So
Okay.
I read when they started.
Gold
I
and
think it was
Blue.
called well, just before Gold and Blue, I think it was called All New X-Men when
Yeah.
the X from the past came back, and Scott Summers was a fugitive, and he had his X-Men team, and Storm had her X-Men team, and there was also the brand new X-Men from way back when.
Right.
I remember that. I read that arc up until I can't remember exactly what happened. I know Magic absorbed like Limbo, like she absorbed all of Limbo, and then she traveled back in time to talk to Stephen Strange to like figure out how to fix it because current Stephen Strange would hate her because she's with Scott Summers. I think.
Yeah.
Is what vague I'm remembering.
I've been kind of checked out of the X-Men titles, and I would occasionally pick up one of them and flip through it, but I just haven't had the I don't know. I haven't had the wherewithal to even try to read through the X-Men Colors title. X-Men Gold, Blue, Black, Red, Fuchsia.
I've heard that Gold is the worst one.
Well, the art from all of them left a little bit of something to be desired from what I saw. But,
I would agree with
I didn't really give the story a chance, and that's on me. I'll eventually get around to reading it and form an opinion on it, so I'm not going to shit on the story right away. But, like with all Marvel comics in the past year and a half, I think it's safe to say that it was pretty shit if they're rebooting it less than 2 years after it launched.
That's a safe assumption.
They're rebooting it with one of the most prominent writers to the Marvel Universe. Jonathan Hickman, if you guys aren't familiar, is the, excuse me for saying, but the genius behind Secret Wars 2015. Just probably the most talented writer in Marvel for the last 5 to 10 years. He revived the Fantastic Four. He revived the Avengers before the Secret Wars event in 2015. He's responsible for writing East of West, which is an independent comic out of Image. And, if anybody can handle a series like the X-Men, which is going to have multiple titles and multiple teams and hundreds of possible characters, I think Hickman is your guy. But I'm kind of mixed about this because, is this a Hail Mary giving it to a writer who, has the chops to do it, which is what we were talking about last night. So, I respect them for making this call to revive the franchise, but are they going to revive it long enough to fuck it again by giving it to somebody else?
Right.
Or it's just
that's kind of how it comes across. Like, oh, these are one of our most popular superhero teams. Let's give it to somebody who everyone likes and try and boost the sales on it.
Well, you know what it kind of reminds me of is like being a kid and like trying to play The Sims and being really bad at it. And so you get like some money and you buy all the expensive stuff for your house, and then you're out of money. So you come up with some little job for your sim to do that makes you a little bit of money. So you spend all that money and then you're out of money. And you need a new little shitty thing for your sim to do to get money so that you can spend all that money. You're not really thinking about long-term growth, how to make like money for your sim so that you can actually live a successful like sim game, like play the Sims the way you should. That's just what Marvel and DC and it's just what they keep doing. They do something to get a little bit of money, and then they spend all that money, or they invest all that money, or they put all that money elsewhere, or they just want more money. And so they do another little shitty little thing, and they're not thinking about how this is going to affect things long term, how this is going to affect the universe long term. That's why, I always bring up 52 and Countdown and Brightest Day and Flashpoint and DC rebooting themselves every 2 weeks. Every time somebody at DC corporate parts, they decide to reboot the universe.
Right. Well, that's actually what reboots the universe is the flatulence of a board member.
Yeah.
But the whole point that I was going to make, and I have to disagree with you slightly on that point. Like up until Disney bought Marvel, I'd completely agree with you. But we all know that Disney has that FU money. So
yeah,
I don't think Disney's worried about the long. Well, I don't think Disney's worried about the long term of Marvel. The profit off of just one Disney movie can keep Marvel Comics afloat for 10 years.
Well, that was exactly my point, though. Is they don't care about the long term. They don't care about Marvel. It's just a cash cow for them, and they know that they keep whatever shit they put out. They know that people are going to buy it, so they're not worried about the quality. That's the issue. That's more what I meant.
Right.
You're not worried about actually improving like your Sim's life or whatever. You just want to get him the best TV. They're not worried about making Marvel comics great again. They want a new event to squeeze money out of people.
Well, sorry guys, I don't know why I'm yawning. I've had a nap today.
Hey, you yelled at me for yawning last week.
Yeah, but
Actually, I think
yell
you
at
fired me.
I yell at you for everything.
This is true.
I mean, I'm just trying to see how much you'll take before you just stop coming back. This whole show is a social experiment, Aaron. But no, the point that I was trying to get at though is that just because Marvel can do something, like they've rebooted Miss Marvel 8-9 times, or Captain Marvel, excuse me, 8-9 times with Carol Danvers, and it's never gonna stick. They need to stop trying to make it stick because that's not what comic readers want. Like I said, I bag and board comic books for a local shop once a week every time they get their shipment in on Wednesday. And, I see the stuff that comes out every week. I help them make decisions about what they should and shouldn't order. We're one of the few stores in the area that still has what we call a pull list, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with. But when someone adds something to their pull list, I'll look at it and I'll try and figure out why this person decided they wanted to add that to their pull list. Like, if this person orders a bunch of Sonic comic books and a Sonic book hits the market, it's not really hard to figure out why they want to order the new Sonic book. But if this person is ordering, like, Witchblade and they're ordering, some anime title every 2 months when a new volume comes out, and then they're ordering My Little Pony or something strange like that, but then all of a sudden they add Cable to their pull list. I'm going to look at Cable and see, why the fuck did this guy want to read this?
Yeah.
So it's because they crossover with Cable meets My Little Pony.
Right. Well, I mean, don't spoil it for people. That's a key issue. I mean, Rainbow Bright and Cable going back to the past to save the White Walkers in Game of Thrones. We don't want to spoil that for everybody. But when I take a look at these things, like, I notice that there's not a lot of growth in the big two, and that's what the whole topic about last night started off as. It very quickly just devolved into me drunkenly ranting, but
shocker.
Well, I wish you would have stayed on.
And taking the piss out of SK, we did that too.
Well, you did that. I'm a lot nicer to our guests because I'm the host. It's you I give a hard time.
You're so nice to me, Church.
I am.
I mean, comparatively, he is.
Yeah, I mean, compared
to I mean, you want to be the new co-host? I'll start shitting on you more too. You can lose what favor you do have. But I think that, if they give Jonathan Hickman, because they're describing it, I'm gonna read through a little bit of this article, so you guys will kind of have to bear with me while I'm mundane map this up. This is from CBR, so take it with less than 1 grain of salt. Split the grain of salt in half and take it with that. But it says, we're only a few months away before Marvel Comics debuts the X-Men focused miniseries House of X and Powers of X. The publisher has begun to release new preview pages by artists Pepe Larraz and R.B. Silva, offering some clues to writer Jonathan Hickman's plans for the X-Men franchise. Even though specific details are being kept under wrap, Hickman has revealed the basic story elements of the X-Men series. 1. House of X is a story about a pivotal month in the history of the X-Men where everything changes for mutants on Earth. And the other, Powers of X, is a story about the history of mutants in the Marvel Universe. So essentially, he's going to set the stage with these two books, is what I'm gathering. He's going to tell us where the X-Men are right now, and he's going to establish the backstory and make like nuanced changes to those backstories as they need for fitting his storyline. Now, I'm seeing down in this article that the abbreviations for these books are Hox and Pox. So I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
Yeah, could you order me some Pox?
Yeah, right. That's a magic card that does terrible things. But
Pox and Pox.
Yeah,
It sounds like a food you would get at Oktoberfest.
it sounds like
Get your Hox and Pox.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Here's your haggis. Haggis is delicious, by the way. You shouldn't knock it till you try it.
Oh, I want to try it.
I'm not really interested.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be either if I just knew what it was and didn't smell it one day. But it's too good to pass up. But anyway, skipping a little bit, it says, considering what little we knew beforehand about Hox and Pox, these are important details to learn. For example, what period of time does House of X pivotal moment take place? As for Powers of X, it sounds like it will peel back the curtain of the Marvel Universe's mutant history. Like I said, I'm going to give Hickman all the benefits of all the doubts because he hasn't let me down yet. However, he is at the might of, or like at the whim of editorial. So,
yeah,
if editorial makes him, in game this up, shall we say? Can we expect Miss Marvel to be a pivotal character in this? Are we really are we gonna try and force that clown pill down everybody's throat, or are we actually gonna let Hickman do what Hickman does?
Well,
yeah.
I can't stay for too long. I gotta get going here real soon. But to me, it sounds like, and I mean, I'm not up to date on Marvel. I don't really care anymore. They've lost me as a reader, but it just sounds to me like an excuse to rewrite everybody's history under the guise of modernization and updating it and keeping it hip. But really, they're just gonna pussify everybody and everything again. They're gonna make Bobby Drake 2 times as gay now or something. Like it's just been used as an excuse to do stuff.
He's gonna be trans, and when he goes into his ice form, he's gonna have tits.
That's exactly it. He's gonna use his ice form to transition.
Yeah.
Oh God, you're a genius, Arden. But they're gonna use it as an excuse to put a bunch of stuff like that in it. That's just what I feel like is it's just gonna make it's just gonna be the woke X-Men is what they're setting up for.
Well, I don't think so. Hickman is not known for woke writing, so that's why I say I'm going to give him every benefit of every doubt and just kind of see how it goes. Now, after 3 or 4, because these are supposed to be mini series that launch the new X-Men title. These aren't saying that Hickman is writing any of the new X titles after these miniseries. So I'm gonna wait to hear about that. But
yeah,
and fool me once, fool me twice. But even a cuck like Mark Waid has a good story every now and again.
I would give Marvel Comics 6 months after these stories come out, like after Hickman's run is done. and they start giving this new X-Men, this new reinvented X-Men to new writers and stuff like that. 'Cause maybe
Right.
you're right. Maybe Hickman will treat it very well, but I give it 6 months tops before it becomes the woke X-Men.
Well, it's going from being the woke X-Men already, so I mean, it can't get any worse in that regard. I don't think. I hope not, and I'm gonna regret saying that immediately.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna regret. I'm gonna hold that over your head in a year's time. So much worse.
I mean,
No,
we do
no,
have
if
the
they
pre-show
do
But
recording.
it did get
We do have the pre-show recording that I can hold over your head in the same light. So
what? Were you called me your little girl?
yes, and you answered.
I
I was talking to my 2-year-old, but you know.
I was making a joke.
Anyway, no, I definitely appreciate you jumping on and giving us your thoughts. Is there anything else you want to touch on before you head out?
No. Follow me on Twitter.
Yep, at Atomic Denny. It's right there in the bottom right hand side of the screen there. If you can see it on the view screen, I'll put it in the description after the show. But anyway, I definitely appreciate it again, man. Enjoy, and if you got any shots or anything from Comic-Con that you want to share, let us know, and we'll bring you on and we can talk about those.
All right. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for having me on.
All right,
Good
man.
talking to you, Denny.
Yeah. Talking to you.
All right, man. Have a good one. All right. So, Ayrton, what's your takeaway on this? How do you feel about the Hickman thing?
Yeah,
Where I'm at with it is anywhere besides where we have been for the past 2 years for the X-Men is better. So I'm
true.
Yeah, I'm willing to take that leap of faith.
Yeah, apprehensive optimism, I would say. We'll go out and buy these when they're coming here just because
Your audio, man, your audio. I'm gonna end the call and start it back. Cycle your headphones real quick, and I'll call you right back.
All right.
All right. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for this brief intermission here. I got to get Ayrton back on the call, so you're gonna hear the ever present Skype noises. There they are.
All right. How's that?
Slightly better so far. Anyway, where were you saying?
So, apprehensive optimism. I'm probably actually going to buy these as they're coming out and actually read them, just because I want to give them a fair shot. And
yeah,
knowing it's him writing them, I do have some hope, but it's very cautious. So.
Right. Well, I think that just comes with the Marvel banner at this point. I think anything Marvel Comics puts out is met with apprehension and met with literally a grain of salt. Like we can't trust you after what you've done to us.
Right.
Just nobody cares anymore. People don't want to. They don't want to be fed pandering social justice in comic books. It's not why we buy $5 comic books. If we spend $5 on 22 pages of paper, it's not to be fed social justice, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we want good story, good characters. We want it to be fun, entertain. It's an entertainment media. Make it fun.
Right. I mean, that's why there's been a $750,000 raised for Cyberfrost. But me, I'm excited. Anytime Hickman's name shows up on something, I automatically add it to my pull list. Everybody already knows that I'm going to want to buy it. So as soon as I heard about this, I called my comic store and I was like, "Hey guys, have to order some extras of these." And they were like, "Why?" I was like, "Because I'm going to be telling everyone to buy it." Uh, you know, just scrolling through, and before anybody asks, CBR is not the kind of website that I would like to source, but they had the most recent article about the Jonathan Hickman deal that had any information in it at all. So,
Is what it is.
a couple of other things that I wanted to touch on: the anti-cheese cut of Endgame has been released to all the torrent networks.
Yes. So I definitely want to watch this now after actually seeing Endgame because that sounds amazing.
Yeah. I've got a screenshot here that talks about it. Let me see if I can pull that up. What the fuck? That is not what I want. Stupid meme website. Fucking advertisement.
Lively show today, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's a short show. Like I said, Game of Thrones just ended.
Yeah.
My wife liked it. I had my my reservations, but this was.
Maybe you should touch on that after you pull this up.
Oh, well, I'll touch on it now.
Okay.
Spoilers for the most recent episode of Game of Thrones, by the way, the series finale of season 8. It ended just like, my wife wanted it to end. All the Stark people walked away happy that we're still alive. So you had multiple seasons of killing off Starks, and then you had a final season of giving them the world, essentially. But the problem that I had with it had nothing to do with the Starks. It was the fact that the only death that actually mattered in the very end was Daenerys Targaryen. Jon Snow stabbed her with a sai, like that thing that Raphael uses in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
A sai?
A sai, yes.
What?
They called it a knife, but it was a sai. It had 2 prongs on either side. I'm looking at the
okay.
Yeah, I'm looking up the link for this anti-cheese thing, and I've just discovered the subreddit just neckbeard things. That's fantastic. I'm a little upset that I didn't see this before. Oh, this is the MRA dipshits link. I'll copy that one. That's fine. I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. Here we go. Yeah. Let's change that over real quick. Boom. There we go.
All right. So he stabs what chick? Who?
The Targaryen woman, the queen.
The dragon chick?
Yeah. Yeah, he stabs her, okay. And then the dragon destroys the Iron Throne. And Jon has to go back to the Night's Watch. It's all very convoluted and bullshitty. It's a lot of fan service, and I don't hate it, per se. But I don't know. After the way the series was going, I was either expecting more of a shit show or a better twist at the end. Not just a peaceful wrap up to everything like, we're just not going to kill anybody except Daenerys. And we're going to do that in the most unexciting way possible.
See, I would have assumed, with what little I know of Game of Thrones, like they would have killed like everybody, and maybe like a baby would still be alive from one of the main family people, like in a crib somewhere.
Nah, man, fuck that. You gotta have the fat bastard named Hot Pie taking over the Iron Throne after everybody else kills themselves in a Mexican standoff.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what I wanted, but you can't always get what you want, I guess. So, I got the link thrown up from pedestrian.tv, this bastion of websites that apparently hates men. But somebody apparently cut Avengers Endgame down from 3 hours to an hour and 25 minutes by removing all Brie Larson and quote unquote all the gay shit. Not my words. Not my words. I would never assume that there was anything homosexual in Endgame. Nor would I blame nor would I blame any shortcomings on Endgame to homosexuality.
Or women.
Oh no, I blame everything on
Oh, okay.
women. But I do have a short list here that kind of explains what the changes are in this no cheese cut. See, there's a bit of a double entendre because a lot of the removals involve Brie Larson, and Brie is a type of cheese, hence the no cheese cut. Get it? Haha. It's funny.
But
But no Brie Larson, neither in the beginning nor at the finale, hence anti-cheese. Most quips edited out to give more consistent, serious tone. No Fortnite references, no dabbing, no America's ass, no empty gauntlet snap, etc. Stan Lee themed Marvel intro from Captain Marvel,
nice.
which apparently was not the move that they made, which it should have been. No Hawkeye training his daughter. Young women should learn skills and become good wives and mothers and leave the fighting to men. No woman leader conference. No gay support group talk. Moping dialogue filler in the first act severely reduced. Time travel happens after 30 minutes. Tony doesn't ask his wife's permission to save the universe. Any pseudoscience has been removed if it wasn't necessary to the story's integral plot. Female sorceress gets scared of the Hulk and just gives him the stone. Their talk with a giant plot hole anyway. No Nebula Wi-Fi. She gets kidnapped and they read her memory. Tony does not meet his dad. Thor doesn't meet his mom. It's all pointless. No Thor being told he can't wield the gauntlet. Hulk just says he will do it. Thor's whining reduced. Sadly, he's unsalvageable in general. But I did the best to make him more dignified. Black Panther isn't the first revived Avenger to arrive and get a bit less time. He's really not that important. No Wakanda Apichin. Women in the final battle severely reduced. They should be at home taking care of their kids. In particular, Pepper has no business being there. Does she want her daughter to become an orphan? Wanda's final battle scene is gone. Made everyone else look useless. No Quill getting kicked in his balls for no reason. No Tony dying in Pepper's arms. She isn't there. Valkyrie barely in it. Doesn't become queen. Less kitchen psychology. E.g., she knows they all do. Many fixes, tightenings, and rescored parts and cuts of unnecessary stuff. So, this is available on an illegal website that I definitely do not condone you going to, and will not leave a link in the description in the chat right now. That is 100% not something that I'm going to do. Is put that in the chat for anybody who may want to look that up and download it for their own reasonings. But Dick Masterson covered this on his bonus episode this weekend, and I just thought that was fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, that description is amazing.
It is. It is.
I'm definitely going to watch this.
It may be the only version of the movie I watch. I've been waiting for this because I was so torn on seeing the movie to begin with.
Well, like I said in the pre, Captain Marvel was annoying, but Thanos bitch slapping her was pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, I've heard that again. Spoiler alerts, but Thanos bitch slapped Captain Marvel right out of the movie.
Literally out of the movie. He bitch slaps her and she doesn't show up again.
Yeah, she doesn't show up again until the very end of the movie, right?
Yeah, like the very last. Again, spoilers. The funeral scene, like she's just standing in the background. I think the camera does like a wide pan of like all the characters like mourning, and she's like mixed it. What?
Becky,
I said spoilers.
No. Becky had her chance to stand up for women, but she decided not to come on this evening. We're not blaming women for anything. Becky. We're blaming Brie Larson for everything, though. Women normally have at least suitable asses, and Brie Larson doesn't. So, I'd be curious to ask Medicare's friend Photon and Mandar if Mandar thought that Brie Larson was an actual woman or a man.
Right.
A man like he claimed that Jennifer Lawrence and Julia Roberts and Scarlett Johansson. Apparently, they're all men, and they're all prettier than Brie Larson. So,
I mean, I'm prettier than Brie Larson.
That's pushing it, Aaron. Don't flatter yourself now. We don't toot our own horns on this show, buddy. We all have our ribs.
We don't.
Oh no, Becky, you didn't hear about that? Jim Medicare had a guy named David Stay on his show, and David Stay literally claimed that Julia Roberts, Scarlett Johansson, and Jennifer Lawrence were all men. Like that was his statement.
He said all the. What was his quote? Like all those hot actresses that you all jerked off to.
Well, just Jennifer Lawrence. That was what he was talking about, and regarding to all you guys jerking off to Jennifer Lawrence all the time. She's a fucking dude. But yeah, that was definitely a conversation that happened on Medicare's channel. If you haven't watched it,
amazing.
It in and of itself is a national treasure. David Stay, you can find him on Facebook. Mandar. I hope Nick Rekieta takes his case and he sues NASA. But no, I don't blame women for everything, but I blame Captain Marvel for ruining the MCU, definitely. Because they already had a proud female character that they could have used as the end all be all of Thanos, and it could have been the unpowered Black Widow. But instead, they had to introduce a blonde, blue-eyed white girl as their face of wokeness because they were being sued in a class action lawsuit for actually being the personification. Disney, by the way, this is Disney I'm talking about. For actually being the personification of the wage gap. Seriously, Disney had been found guilty of paying its female employees 75% of what it paid males for the same or similar job descriptions.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I loved it.
That's why Captain Marvel actually happened, because they had to do my woman's.
Right. No, we like women.
Yeah. See, we gave one their own superhero movie. It just happened to be shit with a fight scene set to just a girl by No Doubt, which is
And the
not.
most predictable fight scene I've ever seen in any of these movies.
You still with us, Becky? Oh, she agrees with it. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good. Then she can
yeah.
stay in the chat as long as she agrees with us.
Right, definitely. Because we totally run a hug box with our 3 viewers.
Yes.
Um,
Well, I more meant just that we're misogynists and that, if she didn't agree with us, she could just go make us a couple sandwiches.
Well, I really don't have anything else to bitch about. It's a short show tonight. We were gonna talk about Lock and Key, but somebody didn't show up. I'm not gonna name any names, Jesse. But hold on, excuse me.
Bless you. Kind of weird blessing a church.
Don't talk to me like that. I don't have to take that from you. But anyway, to finish up about this anti-cheese cut, it takes a movie from 3 hours to under an hour and a half, and is described as in-game but shorter. No feminism, no gay shit, less boring filler, less sniffing its own farts, no constant quips and other small changes. The straight white male edition. So I'm sure it'll be pulled from torrent sites and multiple other factions. So download it while you can.
Oh, probably.
Download it while you can if you support that kind of thing. I obviously cannot. So outside of that, I think that's about all I had to to go on. I mean, there is one more story we can touch on, just to kind of get a reaction out of you. This is from comicbook.com. Let me just pull this up real quick. Apparently, Batman decided he needed to punch Robin in the face. So,
are you gonna give me any context to this?
well, I mean,
Because in my brain, it's like Adam West Batman.
I don't know.
I mean,
the video. I want to watch the video they got going on. Holy shit! Look at this. Strange Angel. You got a Nazi salute going on in the background. This is alt-right as fuck.
I don't know. You don't have screen share up.
I did. Oh, right. Somebody's not watching the stream.
I am watching the stream.
Orgies, the alt-right, war, wife beaters. Man, this is a great show. Alright. Shut up, comicbook.com. No. Oh, they're from Comic-Con too. Maybe Denny saw them. Alright. The Cape Crusader is being put to the test for his most recent Batman arc, and it looks like it's manifesting in some pretty dark ways. The issue alternates back and forth from 2 different points in time, the first of which is after Flashpoint Batman makes his presence known by briefly turning the bat signal red. After that catches the attention of Barbara Gordon, she recruits as much of the Bat family as she can to come to Bruce's aid. Bruce explains how Bane recently held him hostage while he took over the rest of the city from Arkham and asked the Bat Fam to take everything back. The group arrived at Arkham where there was no trace, physical or digital, of Bane's uprising. The rest of Bruce's story began to be questioned as Barbara says that Alfred had been worried about him since the fallout with Catwoman. Just for those of you that don't know, Batman was supposed to marry Catwoman in issue 50 of Tom King's run of Batman Rebirth, and Batman left him hanging out on a rooftop in costume and didn't show up. So, Tim Drake attempted to console Bruce, saying that he understands how Bruce would be in pain after what happened with Selina. Bruce promptly responds by punching Tim in the face and creating a pretty dark version of an iconic Batman meme in the process, proclaiming that he doesn't know a damn thing about what he's feeling. Now, the first thing that I'm going to say about this is that we already had All-Star Batman and Robin with I'm the Goddamn Batman. Tom King should not be having Batman fucking punch a Robin in a monthly Batman title. Fuck yourself, Tom King. But that's just me. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, in my head, like I said, I was picturing the Adam Batman with the big pow thing above it. Much funnier in my head than actually seeing what it actually looks like.
This action adds a lot of context to the second storyline covered in the issue. Wayne Manor being infiltrated by Bane and Flashpoint Batman. Bruce decides to attempt to break Bane's back but doesn't succeed and suddenly realizes he's alone. Alfred then tries to console Bruce, explaining that he needs to admit that he's already lost to Bane. No, never admit defeat. Never. But that's where we're at. I don't know. I don't like it. like am I wrong in that or what?
I don't know. I've never really followed the Batman comics, but that storyline sounds overly convoluted and annoying to try and read.
Well, I mean, a lot about Rebirth has fallen into that category. Like I said, All-Star Batman and Robin was something that was written by Frank Miller back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And Ayrton says we like women. No, All-Star Batman and Robin back in the day was a deconstruction of what Batman was before the before the reimagining of a peaceful I don't kill people Batman, because Batman had no problem killing people or shooting them, prior to the 40s, 50s. He used to carry a pistol, all that good shit. But All-Star Batman and Robin had a scene where just after his family had been killed and he had essentially been kidnapped from the circus, Robin was in the Batmobile and was asking Batman who he thought he was for basically taking him away from a crime scene, and Batman looked at him and said, "I'm the goddamn Batman!" And yeah, like, that's what this felt like. Like, Batman punching out a Robin, I don't know, fuck that. Also, why are we back
in this context?
Why are we back to Tim Drake?
That's stupid.
Yeah, why are we back to Tim Drake as Robin? What happened to his fucking kid, Damian Wayne? Like, is Tim Drake young again? Like, I don't understand what the fuck is happening in the Bat storyline. They have to keep jumping back and forth through time, which, again, in my opinion, is a fantastic way to, drive my point home that we need to end monthly issues of the same fucking title that's been alive for 80 years. Like, if we're having to go back in time at this point so that we can have an invigorating story, then just fucking put it to bed. Take it out behind the woodshed and put one between his eyes, because it's dead. But that's just me.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I'm really anxious for Cyberfrog to come out. I'm really anxious for the Case of the Littlest Umbrella to come out. I'm really anxious for
mhm.
Earthworm Jim to come out and Bigfoot Builder relaunch. Um, I'm so tired of reading the same story over and over and over again. And
Yeah.
it,
Now,
go ahead.
well, jumping back to the X-Men miniseries, how do you feel about him writing like a history of mutants miniseries?
I think it's kind of
Because
necessary to
you know
set.
that is
Well,
kind of in this.
it's necessary because of the amount of mutants that have existed in the timeline of the X universe to showcase the
Okay.
ones that you're going to introduce again or be using for this event. Um, I think it's necessary to make sure that somebody coming on has a quick and easily accessible way to learn about people like Magic, for instance, that Denny was talking about. Do you have any fucking clue who Magic is?
I know the name, but no, I'm not familiar with that character.
Exactly. You know, if I looked at you and I said, well, which toad are they going to use? Would you have any idea that I was talking about the fact that the toad from previous to 1990 and the toad after 1990 were two different characters?
No, actually, I wouldn't have done that.
Right. It's because they were revamped
Yeah,
after a reboot.
yeah, my biggest X-Men reading was the Ultimate X-Men series.
Oh, the one where Blob bit the wasp in half?
Yeah.
You poor soul.
There's a lot of weird shit in that series.
But,
Some of it's fun though.
oh, a lot of it's fun. It just wasn't necessarily good.
Right.
But in any event, I think
But yeah,
that. Go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, this is the first like reboot, if you will, of a legacy title that I've actually like kind of really excited to read this one.
Well, it's not a reboot, and that's the thing. I don't think they're rebooting it. I think that they're relaunching it, but they're just ending the color titles, and I don't know. They're ending the color titles and trying to put something out that people actually want to buy.
Right.
So I don't know. It's it's a bit much. Oh wow. The Game of Thrones memes have already started.
Lovely.
Yeah. I hope Netflix picks up Game of Thrones and remakes it with John Bernthal. I'd watch that. John Bernthal was the Punisher.
I gathered that by seeing you scroll through that.
Look, why are you spying on my screen right now? Boo!
Because you have this screen share on?
There we go.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway, also, just for anybody wondering, I've officially made the switch from being a boomer to using the Brave browser pretty much exclusively instead of Chrome, and I'm not disappointed. Surprisingly, it uses less resources and it's faster than Chrome. I haven't noticed any real difference in performance. So I'll keep everybody apprised of that. But it's a big step for us today technologically. I
I'll
took
take your word for it.
Well, if you ever get a computer, it might fucking matter, you asshole. But if I ever need a real co-host with real technological skills that can run the fucking stream in my absence, I'm gonna have to fire you for real.
This is true.
But in any event, we're coming up on midnight, and I know it was kind of a short show this evening, but had a final episode of Game of Thrones and a little bit of a scheduling mix up. Next week, as far as I know, as long as everybody can make it, we will have a show on Friday evening, Saturday evening, and Sunday evening. So a little bit of one extra show next week. We're going to be covering Lock and Key on Friday, and then let me pull up the calendar here and look at what we're doing next weekend because I'm totally professional and prepared and know it, but I want to be able to reference it exactly for Ayrton, who probably needs me to reference it because he definitely doesn't know.
No, because you just we've changed around our schedule so much the past few days. I have no idea where we're at for this coming weekend.
Well, Friday the 24th, it looks like Lock and Key. Saturday the 25th, it looks like a Storyline Showdown. Did you ever pick something for that? You didn't.
Yeah. The Serenity Leaves on the Wind.
All right, Serenity. Did I pick something for it?
No.
Good. You picked Serenity, so I think I might do a Stephen King book to round out the weekend. I mean, we've got enough Dark Tower comics that we could do something, right?
That could be fun.
Leaves on the Wind, you said?
Yes.
So I'll find something for us to cover by then. But Friday will be Lock and Key. Saturday will be the Storyline Showdown. May kind of go long on Friday if Dead Man's up for it and just cover the last 2 volumes and the last 3 volumes and the key holder, like the key holder document which has all the keys on it. And then Sunday we have top 10 Marvel and DC, which is Marvel and DC team ups, not Marvel versus DC comics. So. And surprisingly, there's a lot more than I thought there were going to be. Like, there are dozens, and I didn't think there were going to be that many. So
Yeah.
So we'll have some actual shows next week, but until then, I'm gonna go ahead and roll the outro music, and we're gonna get the fuck out of here because that's too. Actually, I'm not even gonna roll outro music. We're just gonna get the fuck out of here. So,
good night, everybody.
You guys have a good one. Don't do anything I would or wouldn't do, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us on the Gospel of Comics.